What's up, Notjust developers? How is it going today, guys? Super excited about today's video because we are doing something different. I know that a lot of you are on your journey of becoming a full stack mobile developer, so that's why I decided to talk about this topic and to give you a clean, clear roadmap from zero to becoming a full stack mobile developer in 2021 with React Native and all the tools that we're gonna use in the next couple of years. So what exactly we're gonna speak today, let's have a look. So first of all, we're gonna talk about why you should become a full stack mobile developer in 2021. Then how you will be able to do that, and also what topics to focus on, what technologies, what frameworks, and so on. And also stay tuned till the end because we have a special announcement and also a Q&A session at the end, so we can talk more about your struggles, and I'm gonna try to help you with your issues. Yeah, I'm very excited about today's special announcement. Some of you already know about it, some of you already took action, and yeah, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. So roll the intro. All right, so here we are, guys. So let's start talking about this topic, and let's start specifically with why would you want to become a full stack mobile developer specifically now. So based on any website, here are some stats about the mobile industry and how it performed in 2020, in the previous year. So yeah, because of the pandemic, 2020 was a crazy year for mobile development, and we see a lot of growth in a lot of numbers for that year. And in fact, in just 12 months, mobile development advanced as it usually does in 2 or 3 years. So first of all, there are 218 billion application downloads from market, which is crazy. And what's more important is the amount of spend that the amount of dollars that users are spending in Google Play, in App Store, in third-party Android applications, and so on. And this is $143 billion. This is a much bigger industry than a lot of traditional industries that you are aware of. And this is a 20% growth compared to 2019, which is, again, like a lot. Also, an interesting part is how much time users tend to spend on mobile phone. Just think for a second, how much time are you spending on your phone? If I check right now, it should probably be more than 6 hours. Even though I consider myself like a productive person, we still use the phone a lot, being it for entertainment or for productivity. And an interesting part about that is this was the first year when people spent more time on average on their mobile phones compared to in front of a TV. So we can say that mobile industry is already bigger than TV and entertainment industry. There is also a lot of money that is flowing in this industry from venture capitals, a lot of investments. I hear like week after week a new mobile application got investment, and so on. So all of these trends had created a lot of new jobs, a lot of demand for mobile developers. And if we look at the stats again, React Native developers are making on average 121,000 per year. And even the entry level of 102,000 per year, I think that's good enough, and for a lot of people, that's what I would say. All right, so what does full stack mobile development mean? It means that you are specialized in both front end, and here we're speaking about developing the how the mobile application will look, how the user will interact with it, all the images, buttons, and so on. Then we're going to talk about the backend. This is also a very important part of mobile applications because, first of all, you need to store the data somewhere, and it happens to be on a server somewhere in the cloud. And also a very important part from being a full stack mobile developer is the DevOps part. And the DevOps is everything that is related to the life cycle of the application, starting from coding and ending to deploying it to market, to monitoring it, to implementing some CI/CD pipelines to deploy the application there, and other tools that enhance the development process of the application. All right. So let's move towards how and what exactly should you do. So first of all, I would suggest you to start with JavaScript. If you don't know already JavaScript, this is a very good beginning, and because with JavaScript you will be able to write both front-end applications, back-end applications, even desktop application if you in future will decide to switch to that. So JavaScript has a very powerful community, and with it you can accomplish a lot. For example, for us, it's going to be useful because we will be working in React Native. In React Native, we are using JavaScript. On the backend, we will write Lambda functions. There, we also use JavaScript. If you write backend with Node.js, that's JavaScript. So that's a good pick, just not to waste your time on learning a lot of languages. One that you're going to use for front end, one for backend. Just pick JavaScript, and you know that everything is going to be fine. Also, after you learn the fundamentals of JavaScript, also very important here is the modern features of JavaScript, starting from ES6. And here I'm speaking about prop spreading, about arrow functions, spread operator, destructuring, and a lot of these features. This is important because we are actually overusing these features in our day-to-day life, just because we are making our life so much easier. Like there are a lot of situations when with this feature, with features from modern JavaScript, a function of like 5 lines, you can rewrite it in 1 line or something like that. So they are very powerful. They're quite easy to learn and to understand. However, if you don't know these features, you're going to look at the code like it's the first time you see it, and it's going to be very confusing. For example, in my free tutorials on YouTube, I tend to explain when I do destructuring or prop spreading, like what does that mean? Because for me, it's very intuitive to write that because it's much faster, easier. But for new people, that might be a bit more complicated. All right, so when it comes to front-end and mobile development, I cannot recommend you enough going with React Native. There are so many benefits of going with React Native. And I'm not going to speak a lot about them in this video. If you're interested, I can create a separate video about the pros and cons of React Native and so on. But today I'm going to talk about outline of a roadmap of the things that you are supposed to know to master React Native and full stack mobile development. So first of all, everything starts, of course, with setting up your environment. And with React Native, you have to set it up both for iOS and Android. And here there are some caveats, because if you're working on a Windows or on a Linux machine, you're not going to be able to set the environment up for iOS. However, you'll be able to develop your project on Windows, Linux, with an Android emulator and device. And after that, you just will need to borrow your friend's Apple MacBook or any macOS system and just copy the code, like pull the code from GitHub, for example, and build it for iOS. So you're still not limited only to one platform. You will be able, but in order to build for iOS, you actually need a macOS system. So the next step is debugging. This is very important because this will help you understand how to solve issues when you encounter them. And if you're a beginner, you're going to encounter a lot of them. So it's very important to know how to understand where is the error coming from and to understand how to navigate that. Here we have a couple of tools like React Native Debugger or Flipper that are very useful in this process. Hello, Priyank. Thank you very much for your kind donation. All right, so the next step is to master working with React Native components, the built-in components that are coming from React Native. And here I'm speaking about views, images, texts, lists, inputs, buttons, and other components that are already built in. We're going to learn how to use them, when to use them, because this is very important, how to adjust them for our specific needs, because most of them are very flexible. Like they do not come with, I don't know, for example, a button with a pressable. It doesn't come with a lot of styles. So you, as a developer, have a flexibility to adjust it the way you want to look it and to perform the actions that you actually needed to perform. All right. The next step is, of course, styling. As I was saying, like a lot of things come unstyled out of the box, and it's our job to know how to take a UI design that the designer provides us and to convert it into functional React Native mobile application that will look good. It will scale on different device sizes well, and it will perform the way it will look the way you want it to look. All right, so on this topic as well, the next step would be to create your own components in order to be able to reuse your code throughout your application in different places. This is very important, specifically when the project grows, and your ability to make things abstract and to extract complex logic in smaller components will be crucial on the scalability of the application. Because in the beginning, everything is manageable, even if you write everything in one file or in one component. However, once the application grows, that development time as well grows, because every new feature is going to be much harder to implement, because you're going to need to manage everything else and not break anything that is already there. So that's why keeping your code clean, creating your own custom components that you need to reuse throughout the application is very important. For example, in a social media application, let's say Instagram, I'm pretty sure the Instagram code base has a component called post component that renders one post in the feed that you see, or something like that, or story component, let's say. And that story component will display a story of that user. All right, then it's good to learn about data management. And here I'm speaking about props and state. This is very important, because when you create custom components, now your data is spread in your project. So you need to somehow send data from a parent component to a child component. This is done using props. You need to keep track of what's going on in your application or in your component using state. I don't know, for example, how many likes the Instagram post has. That's a state variable. And whenever the user likes the post, the state variable will be increased, and everything will be updated on the UI, on the screen. Because we are speaking about functional components, and we are using modern way to develop React and React Native applications, we're going to use a lot of hooks. So it's very important to know the basics of hooks. Why do we have them? Why do we use them? And more specifically, to know a couple of examples on how to use some of the most common hooks. And I think that use state and use effect is something that you will need probably in any application. And there are other hooks, default hooks that are coming from React Native that will help you optimize your application, such as use callback, use memo, and so on. Also very important to know how to create your own custom hook. This is also very good to know how to do. Then you should get into some kind of a global state management, because your application will grow and at one point it's going to be very hard to share the same data between components. So there is this problem called prop drilling, and it happens when you are sending one variable a long way down the tree. So starting from your most global component, let's say application, you want to send, for example, the color scheme. Is it a light or dark color scheme? So if you do it with props, you'll have to pass it down a lot of levels until it reaches, I don't know, a specific button that needs this variable to decide if it should be white or black. So to solve this issue, we use global state management, and these are libraries that will help us manage the state on a global level, and all our other components will just subscribe to this state, and they will update whenever the state updates. So yeah, there are a couple of ways and libraries to do that, and more recently React Native has this context API. And with it, you can actually accomplish a lot of these things, yeah, out of the box without using any other third-party library with Context API. However, yeah, it's very good for small application. However, if your application is a bit bigger, then Context API will not perform that well because it was not designed to work with variables that change very often. It can work very well with, for example, color scheme like dark or light, because this value doesn't change that often. That's almost like very, very rarely changing. However, with the likes of a post or with something like that, that value will change very often. So Context API will not perform that good. There are other options here for global state management. One of them is Redux, and this is a very mature library for managing state, and it's used in a lot of applications that had been started years ago. However, my opinion is that Redux is overcomplicated for beginners, and yeah, it's an old way of managing state in React Native. I'm not saying it is a bad way. However, there is a new library from Facebook itself that tries to solve the issues of both Redux and both Context API. The problem with Redux is that there are some concepts that are very different from how React or React Native application works. So you need to switch a bit your mindset of how you think about data, how you think about renders, and so on. And on the other side, Recoil.js, their main selling proposition is that Recoil.js thinks the same way as React or React Native application does. And in fact, like when using it, you will not see a lot of difference from Recoil.js than with state. But at the same time, you get global state management And compared to Context API and Redux, you get much better performance when it comes to bigger applications, of course. All right, that's about global state management. The next step is navigation. When you develop applications that have multiple screens, and I think that most of applications have multiple screens, you need a way to navigate from one screen to another. You need a way to remember what was the previous screen, so whenever you go back, you know what to show to the user. And instead of implementing everything ourselves, there are libraries that helps us with this. And this is, about navigation. Also very important, different kind of navigations like a stack navigator or a bottom tab navigator that you see in a lot of application on the bottom of a screen, like, 4 or 5 logos that you can press. Then there is the top bar navigator where you have, probably on TikTok is a good example. There are 2 tabs on top, one for you and one following. And also a very used navigator is the drawer navigator, or also called the hamburger menu. It's the 3 lines that you open and you get like the whole menu items from the application. Okay, after that, from the more advanced features are of course animations. And very important to make your application pop, to make it look different. And while it's not very important for majority of applications, it is very important for a few of them that have everything else covered and everything else is perfectly working. Then probably it's time to focus on animations and make everything look smooth with cool animations. A cool nerd, thank you very much for the donation. I'm gonna come back to everyone in the chat in a moment when we have a Q&A. I don't have a lot yet, so let's continue a bit and we're gonna have a Q&A session. Okay, so that's it with React Native. I mean, this is the main part. Of course, there are a lot of side tracks and side features that you need to know and to implement. So we can talk about that later. On the backend side. So on the backend side, there are a couple of options, basically. So one option is to code your own backend using some kind of Node.js library like Express or Python or any other languages here that I didn't mention, like Java, PHP, and any other library with which you can create an REST API or a GraphQL API. This was the way to build application for a long time, and it was perfectly fine. Actually, my previous startup, we were doing a Node.js GraphQL API and from React Native we were connecting to them. However, with this approach, a lot of things fall on your shoulder to implement, and a lot of things here I'm speaking about. Things that are not important and they're not differentiating your application from someone else's application, but they are crucial for any application. For example, let's say security or authentication or logging, what else? Analytics. This stuff will not if you have authentication or not, that doesn't mean that your application will succeed on the market or not. Like most of the applications need authentication, so this is not your main selling point. Like you as a developer, or even if you are planning to work on your own startups, you need to think on the feature that will benefit directly the end user, like feature that will benefit the business as a whole. So with these do-it-yourself backend systems, you have to work on a lot of plumbing yourself, like to put everything together to make sure, and only after that you will work on the features. So it takes a lot of time. It's sometimes more flexible. As an example, with my Node.js server, I think I spent around 1 week to implement authentication with social providers like Facebook, Apple, and Google. So it took me around a week or even more than a week to implement everything myself, to test everything, to deploy, and so on. So that's a lot of time. An alternative is low-code backend system. And here today I'm going to speak about AWS Amplify, because we've been using it a lot, and it has a lot. It's a very powerful backend system that allows you to build mobile and web applications very fast using the AWS infrastructure. So behind the scenes it's AWS, but Amplify makes it much more easier to get started with AWS. Because I know I studied for the certifications for more than a month to get started with AWS, and it's quite complicated when the way it is. It was specifically complicated for front-end developers. And with AWS Amplify, they are trying to shorten this gap between like full stack development and only front-end development. So when it comes to AWS Amplify, what you need to learn is, first of all, how to set up Amplify environment, how to set up an Amplify project, and all the CLI commands. Then, of course, there is the authentication, and here we're speaking about authentication with email and password, a usual way, and also with social providers. As a matter of fact, the authentication with social providers, I implemented it I'm implementing this during every project, and it usually takes like 5 minutes, and everyone is like, what? But specifically with social providers, like with Facebook and with Apple, I implemented it in less than an hour with Amplify. So what you have to do there basically is to create the application on Facebook, get a token, set it in Amplify, and that's it. You're done. You have implemented authentication with social providers. These are some reasons why I love so much Amplify. All right, so after authentication, you will have to implement and learn about databases, about API, and here the API can be a GraphQL API or a RESTful API. These are both possible with Amazon Amplify, and it's quite easy to get started with them. And to create an API, you just need to provide a schema, like how should your data look like. And then behind the scenes, Amplify will spin up all these services behind the scenes for the database, for the API, for the security rules, authentication rules, and so on. When you implement the database and API, you need a way to query this data from your mobile application. And here you can either query directly using GraphQL and some GraphQL client libraries, or you can use the AWS data store, which allows you to query the data from the backend. But the cool thing about AWS data store is a different one. So AWS data store is basically a on-device storage library. And what does that mean? It means that it will write the data that you have in your application. It will write it on device. So this gives you the ability to develop offline first applications using AWS, and your application will work well even without internet. So it will display, for example, the last posts that it loaded, and so on. So data store takes care of that, and also it takes care of syncing this data with your cloud. So that's impressive, like the amount of work happening behind the scenes when you work with data store. All right, so also very important topic is where and how do you store all your content, for example, images, video, files. How do you do that? With Amplify it's possible, and there are services for that. After that, analytics. You need to know what's happening in your application. You need to know where the users are spending the most amount of time and where do they drop off, like where do they leave the application, for example. Push notifications, very important topic that a lot of you have asked me to build, to teach. However, in the free YouTube videos, in the YouTube videos that I'm doing, I do not have time to implement all of these things that you see here. So push notification will, whenever, for example, you receive a message in Instagram, you receive a push notification like, hey, you have a message. And this way you increase the engagement rate for your application, because more people will receive the notification, will open the application, and it's a much better experience for the users as well, because they know that they're always up to date. Okay, these are the most important parts from AWS Amplify. There are some very edge case services, for example, let's say creating recommendation systems with Amplify very easily, or doing chatbots. That's also possible there, but I think that's not required and necessary for everyone. They are more advanced and specific for some use cases. All right, so we are done with backend. The next step is the DevOps. And DevOps here, I'm talking about the whole life cycle of your project, of your application, starting from the planning phase, then coding, then testing and building it, releasing it to market. After that, monitoring user engagement and monitoring everything in the application. And based on the results that you get from monitoring, responding, learning, and the cycle starts again. So how do you do everything? How do you automate everything? How do you improve it? And how do you make sure that this system is in place? So first of all, for the DevOps, when it comes to full stack mobile development, you need to know how to build the application for Android and for iOS, and then take these builds and yeah, I think it's the third one. Take these builds and deploy it to App Store and Play Store in order for your users to be able to download the application and start using it. Also, you need to know how to work with different environments, like a production environment, a development environment. So basically, when you are developing a new feature, you're not working with the same data as your users see in the application, because yeah, that's better and more secure. Okay, the next step here is how do we do everything that we spoke before, but in an automatic way, using CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous development deployment pipelines, in order to automatically build our application whenever we submit new code to GitHub, for example. And after the build is done, to take this build and to first deploy it to Android Play Market, and then to deploy to iOS App Store. So this is everything possible in an automatic way, so you don't spend like around 1 hour building, deploying, publishing, updating the description and so on manually. And also very important is the monitoring phase, and how do we do that with React Native. All right, so we are almost there regarding the roadmap. So the question is, how do you learn that, and what's the best way to do that? So guys, you are in luck today, because I just released the full stack mobile developer course, which you can get following the link in the description or here on the screen, http://academy.notjust.dev. So yeah, today let's have a look, let's talk about the course, what will it include, when it's gonna be there. So, and also I'm gonna answer your questions from the chat. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's open it. Here it is. The course, by the way, yeah. The course, yeah, right now I'm running a pre-sale campaign, which means that the course is not ready yet. I'm actively working on the course. And if you join the course right now, you have the possibility to do that with a 50% discount. And you will be the first one who will receive the new modules when they will be available. After 1 week that we close the pre-sale campaign, I'm gonna go silent. I'm gonna go in the stealth mode, deploying and working on the course and deploying it to the people who bought it during the pre-sale. And the next time we will open the doors back to the course is gonna be probably when we finish the end product, and based on my planning, that should happen by the end of 2021. So until then, you're not gonna be able to enroll. Here to now is the only chance and probably the biggest discount that I will ever run for the course. Okay, hopefully that's clear. I wanted to make that clear right from the beginning, so it will set the right expectation. So what will this course contain, and what you will be able to do after following this course? So first of all, yeah, it's gonna have, let me zoom in a bit. So during the course, you're gonna build 2 portfolio-ready mobile applications. And if you follow me on YouTube, you probably know how much importance I put to project-based learning. Learning by building stuff, not learning by reading stuff or by watching stuff or by some theory or some diagrams. No, like you actually learn when you get your hands dirty and you actually start writing code. And you learn even more when you don't stop whenever like the tutor is stopping, but going 1 extra mile. However, yeah, in this course we're gonna have like time and possibility to go that extra mile to cover all the topics that are important for mobile development. So yeah, the first project is gonna be an easy project. Here, if we're speaking about the projects, yeah, it's gonna be an easy project. I didn't decide yet what specific application we're gonna build. It might be even that we're gonna build multiple small applications, and I'm gonna use them to teach the React Native fundamentals. This will be done in order for any developer with any experience to be able to join. And if this is the first time he's writing React Native code, then you're going to be able to follow this very easy fundamentals part of a course where we will learn, if we go back to the presentation, about the basics of React Native. Yeah, like how to work with components, how to style them, how to create your custom components, what are hooks, how to manage data with state and props, and so on. There I'm going to explain it like very step by step, like what it is, why do we need it, how to use it, it in different scenarios. Because yeah, for example, use effect, it can accomplish a lot of things. So there I'll be able to give you all the different scenarios that you can use that. The second application, on the other hand, is going to be an advanced application, and here we are going to build a full stack Instagram clone, where it's going to be for people that already have some experience with React Native, or they have started from the beginning with that easy project. So here I'm not going to stop a lot on the fundamentals. For example, I'm not going to repeat what props is. I might say, and I might explain with the example that we are building right now. For example, we are starting working on a post component and we need the data there. So I will explain you how to send the data from the parent component to the child and how to render it. So yeah, in order to keep the pace going. However, this project is gonna cover a lot of stuff that we didn't cover. We didn't ever cover on the YouTube channel. These are features that are more advanced, that everyone was asking for. I don't know, let's say enough notifications, paginations, how to properly query with filtering, with searching, how to implement, let's say, a following system, so that the feed that you're going to display is coming only from the people that you follow. How do you implement a liking and commenting system with replies and so on? These are only the tip of the iceberg features that we're going to implement. Everything that you saw in the presentation regarding React Native Amplify here, we're going to cover everything: analytics, storage, data querying, authentication with email and also social providers. So you're going to be able to log in with both Google, Facebook, and also email. Yes, where we are at. Yeah, that's the building the full stack Instagram clone. Also very important, we're gonna learn how to set up CI/CD pipelines that will automatically build and deliver our application to market. Yes. From the backend side, we're going to learn AWS Amplify and become comfortable with it. We're going to implement authentication system, as I said, design and implement complex database systems with GraphQL APIs. Real-time messaging, this is very important. This is a feature that deserves a tutorial on itself, but we're going to do that part of the course. We're going to implement the Instagram chat, which is going to be a real-time chat, and the messages will sync in real time. Following system, a very important one, and specifically about this feature, I thought that it should be done because there are so less resources about these advanced topics like following system. When I was the CTO at the startup, at the previous startup at Fitinium, I had to implement the following system. And I spent a lot of time researching how to best design it, how is the most scalable way to do it. There are different types of following systems, like a push-based and a pull-based and so on. What's the difference between them? When should I choose one and when should I choose the other one? How to implement it in a scalable way that it's going to work both with 10 users and with 10 million users. This is the challenging part. So as a CTO, it's very important to know and to be able to design this system and implement them. And I think that there is a big lack of resources when it comes to these advanced topics. Sumari Ari, thank you very much for joining the YouTube channel members. All right, so let's continue. So as I was saying, what else? What will we build? Yes, we already talked about that. We're gonna build two projects. One easy one where we'll master React Native and JavaScript. This is a great start for beginners. And the second one is the full stack Instagram clone with as many features as possible and with features that you will be able to take out of this application and integrate it in the application that you are working on. Also, this is the answer like why I chose to build the Instagram clone, because it contains a lot of features that are very common for any social media application. And also they do not have any crazy UI designs, so we're not gonna spend a lot of time there. Like, the design is quite clean. You still need to know how to do them properly. But everything else, like feed, infinite scrolling feed that will automatically load posts as you scroll through it. Yeah, like real-time messaging, stories, liking, following system. This combination of features, I think, are very common in multiple social media applications. A cool nerd is writing, who else got in the pre-sale? Too excited. Yay! Thank you very much. All right. So what else? The tech stack of the future, React Native and AWS Amplify. In that course, you're gonna learn everything that we discussed today about React Native, about AWS Amplify, and yeah, you're gonna do that using project-based learning. If you're doubting whether to learn React Native in 2021 or not, these are just a couple of companies that are using React Native in their production applications. So if you're thinking like, is React Native performant enough? Is it fast enough? Think about if Instagram, Netflix, Coinbase, Uber, Discord are using React Native for their mobile applications, then most probably React Native is good enough for the use case that you have at hand. So here are some of the modules that I have planned for the course. This is not the how it will end up looking, because we will definitely change some things. We will add more stuff as people will suggest from the ones that bought the course during the pre-sale. And yeah, these are only the most important parts, most important course modules. So when it comes to React Native, we're gonna start and learn about environment setup, how to do that on a Windows, Linux, macOS system for both Android and iOS. After that, we're gonna learn the fundamentals with our first project. Yeah, it's gonna be an easy project where we will be able to learn about JSX, built-in components, creating our custom functional components with styling, props, state, data management, all the hooks that we need to know, use state, use effect, use callback, use memo, and so on. Then we're gonna work on our Instagram clone UI. We're gonna implement the homepage with the feed, which is gonna be infinitely scrollable and automatically loading more posts. Stories with their animations. Yeah, updating profile page and also updating the profile form. This is where you'll learn about form management, how to handle, how to manage forms in React Native. And then we're gonna cover also navigation, how to navigate between all the screens that we are gonna develop. Also on this part, we're gonna talk about React Native best practices and optimizations, which is quite important when you are building a production-ready application. And the last but not least important is React Native testing. Oh my God, how important is React Native testing? We didn't have a chance to cover it on our YouTube channel because it's a bit time consuming, and we have been focusing on different things. But when you're learning to become a professional full stack developer, you definitely need to learn about React Native testing. From the AWS Amplify, again, we're gonna do an introduction to AWS Amplify, what's it, how to use it. We're gonna implement authentication screens, GraphQL API, We're gonna work with API queries and state management in our application and all the stuff that we already discussed. From the DevOps, very important here, production and development environments, how to switch between them, how to create them, how to manage them, and how to make sure that they work properly. Building the application for Android and iOS, and then deploying it to App Store, Play Market, and at the end automating all these steps with CI/CD pipelines to make it easier for you to focus on building features and not like spending time building and updating it to App Store. Yeah, as I said, like these models are subject to change, and your input after you buy it, your feedback and your input will help me a lot to shape the future of a course. So we will, how it will work, yeah, I'm gonna deploy, I'm gonna publish the modules when they are ready, and then after a couple of days or after a week, we will have a feedback call where we can either you can give me feedback, what you like, what you didn't like. You can ask me questions during the call about specific things that you didn't manage and so on. And based on that, I will know if I need to do more videos on a topic because it was not clear, or I need to go into a direction, cover a specific topic because it's important, and so on. So the collaboration between us is going to be very, very important in the development of this course. All right, so here is something about myself. Don't like to talk a lot about myself, but yeah, I started my career as a full stack developer at 16 years old, and I've been working since then in professional environments. In search of more freedom, I transitioned to freelancing, and I started doing that in order to sustain myself, and that quickly grew into international business where we had a lot of clients from all over the world. And at that point, I didn't manage to do everything myself. I had to hire a team, and without even wanting, we created a software development agency. After a couple of years, that was not challenging enough for me, and I wanted to work on my own startups to build my own products. And then that's when I started my my second startup, because before that I also had one. And this startup is actually using the same stack as you see here with React Native. And it is being used by more than 20,000 users. This experience with startups gave a completely different meaning to being a not just developer, to being more than a developer, to trying to solve problems for users, to trying to accomplish more with less, and to find solutions when it's quite difficult to do that. So that's one reason and one part that motivated me to take the next step in my career and to share this journey and to share this knowledge with you guys here on YouTube. So that's what I've been doing for the past years. I'm trying to help as many of you on YouTube. We developed most of the applications that you have on your phone, like WhatsApp, Uber, Tesla, Amazon, Netflix, Airbnb, and 16 more. In total, there are 16 applications. So the problem with YouTube was that I do not have a possibility to go extra deep into one build. For example, to take the same WhatsApp and to spend like half a year on developing it with extra features, because that's not how YouTube works. Like, the content is not very discoverable, and for like 80% of the developers, this advanced information is unnecessary, like they are not looking for that. However, for 20% of you guys, I heard you are always eager to learn more, you're always eager to develop yourself, to understand how the next feature is going to be built, and you're always writing in comments like, can we do a notification system, can we implement push notifications, can we do payment system, can we do that, can we do that, can we do that, or paginations, or how to deploy to market. And I hear you, like I was trying my best to think how to best help you and in which way, and this is the solution. This is gonna be a course, advanced course, specifically for that 20% of you who are ready to take the next step into mobile development and are eager to learn more and to become a successful mobile developer. Yeah, what else? Yeah, I'm also, didn't mention that, not sure if it's relevant, but I'm also a proud ex-Amazon software developer engineer. And there I also work with React technologies. I didn't work with React Native because I was not building a mobile application, but I work with React and I worked with a lot of AWS services, like Lambda functions and so on. Where I developed like a custom dashboard for the internal teams at Amazon to help them with their day-to-day job, which they are actually using nowadays. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of that as well. Okay, we are almost there. Then we can start Q&A. What else? What else should I tell you? From the frequently asked questions. So, is this a full stack mobile development course for beginners? Yes, it's for beginners, and if you're a beginner, you will start from the first projects. If you are more advanced and you don't need the React Native fundamentals like props, state, components, and so on, you can skip the first project and start from the Instagram clone, and you will, you'll not waste your time. You'll still have a lot of things to learn from the Instagram clone. So that's the answer. How is the course different from the free YouTube videos? Some of you have asked this question. The short answer is the scope of the project that we are covering. Like how much features, how much systems, how much things are we implementing and are we learning. So basically this course, I intend to cover 10 more X10 the amount of features, solutions, systems, and tools that we are able to do on the free YouTube videos. The free YouTube videos are gonna come as regularly every Friday. That's not gonna change anytime soon. So yeah, the course will contain all these features that we have talked about them previously. When does the course start? So basically the course is under active development. I want to make this clear. So if you enroll now during the pre-sale period, in the next 7 days, then you will receive access to the new modules as soon as they are ready. And I also expect to finish the final version of the course by the end of 2021. At that time, the course will be ready, and then we are going to have another public launch period, which is going to happen, probably in 3-4 months, something like that. How long do I have access to the course? After you enroll, you have unlimited access to the course. And what are the benefits of buying the course during the pre-sale? Oh, this is a very good question, and I saw some people were confused, like, why would you buy during a pre-sale? So first of all, you'll be one of the first to get access to the course, and you're going to get access gradually as it is being developed. You're going to be part of a very small group that will receive this access, and also this small group, we're gonna have multiple calls throughout the development of a course, where we will talk about what can be done better, what you didn't understand, and I can help you once again. And you will be able to influence the direction where the course goes, basically. Yeah, you'll be able to join feedback and coaching group calls with me. We're gonna do them, I didn't plan how often, but at least once a month we're gonna do the feedback calls. And you are also getting this course with a 50% discount. And this is definitely going to be the lowest price that you can pick the course up for. And this is a great opportunity, a win-win situations for all of us to start collaborating this way. Also, you'll become the batch 0 member, and I would say this is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So guys, I think now is the time for questions, if you have any. Oh, I saw a lot of questions in the chat. So, I don't know, Alexander, did you pick any good questions that I should definitely answer, or can we start clean? Course follows Expo or native CLI? Very good question. The course, I want to teach you both Expo and React Native CLI. I don't want to make a decision because they have different use cases when it's best to use one or another. So for that reason, the first project that we're gonna build, which is gonna be the easy one, we're gonna do it with Expo, because that's gonna be the beginner-friendly course and you're gonna be able to get started really fast. The second project, the Instagram clone, we're gonna use React Native CLI just to show you the difference between the two and how to work with both of them. This is a great way to learn both of them, and you don't have to choose at the moment what you should learn. You're gonna learn both of them, and when there is it's time, you're gonna choose which one is the best for the specific project. Include Amplify custom modules. Use custom UI of the Instagram and storing the session for further actions. Custom modules. Use custom UI of Instagram. Yeah, if I understand the questions correctly, that's what is going to be included in the course. Right. What projects will be in the course? So the course will be focused on a very big full stack course, and this is decided. This is Instagram clone. And also it will contain at least one or multiple small projects, which I will use in order to teach you React Native fundamentals. For example, I can teach you the basic of data management, like state and so on, in a small project, and I might teach you animation in a different project. This is not decided yet, but we are definitely going to use smaller project. In order to keep things not confusing for beginners, and also not to waste time for people that have more experience. Because if you have more experience, you're going to start from Instagram clone. And you're not going to spend like 5 minutes listening to me explaining what props are, because you probably know what's that. But for a beginner, this is very important. So that's why I will split it into at least 2 projects. I'm definitely not good in CSS, hence would you be covering CSS as well, such as Flexbox and Grid? So not to confuse other people, we're gonna cover styling. In React Native, we are not talking about CSS. That's React Native styling. However, it's the same thing. I mean, it's similar to CSS, so I understand what you're asking. Yes, we're gonna cover Flexbox, we're gonna cover Grid and other styling principles in our tutorial. Any chance the pre-sale can be extended to 3 days? The pre-sale just started, so you have the next 7 days to act, and I'm not sure that it's going to be possible to extend it to 3 days. Reanimated 2 and new Expo features are included. Yes, we're going to use Reanimated 2 for the Instagram story animations. Pavel is saying about the pre-sale, I wish more advanced features because basic info is now in your channel. I want to see something about securing the app. Greetings. Thank you very much. Yes, I saw you were one of the first ones to buy the course. Thank you very much. And yes, we are definitely going to cover much more advanced features than we are doing on YouTube. So that is the reason I'm doing this course, to be able to cover these advanced features. When the course will be starting. So let me explain it one more time. This is a pre-sale period. If you're buying right now, you are getting into the batch 0, and that means that you will receive access to the new modules as soon as they are ready. I'm still working on the course, I'm actively developing it, and I expect the next 3-4 months to work on it and to deploy new modules every, 2-3 weeks, depending on the complexity of the modules. So the course will start in the next months. The first modules will be available, and by the end of the year, we will gonna cover everything that we showed and we talked today. After the course, can we place the created applications on the Play Market? After the course, you will know how to place the application on Play Market, because we're gonna cover that. But the clones that we are cover, they are for educational purposes, so I don't think it's good if you will publish the Instagram clone on the market. However, if you on the side are working on your own project, this is a perfect time to deploy it to market, because you will know how to do it. Do we need to know JavaScript to start this course? I would say that this is the only requirement to get into the course. I will not cover the very basics of JavaScript. I might cover some specific advanced features from JavaScript, just to make sure that everyone is on the same page. For example, I will not cover how to declare a variable and how to assign a value to it. This is out of the scope of the course. But I might cover how to destructure properties from an object, or how to spread an object, to spread the properties of an object, and so on. These features I most probably will cover, the advanced one. The easy one, you need to know a little bit of JavaScript, yes. Okay, questions. Do you plan to use Recoil.js with one of the upcoming Let's Build videos? Let's Build videos. I didn't realize that our series is called Let's Build. Do I use Let's Build in every video? That's interesting. We are using Recoil.js in the, how is it called? The FIFA application. Yeah, just let me know and I'll send you a link to the video that we use Recoil. Also on notjust.dev there is a blog post about Recoil if you're interested. Probably stupid questions, but what is the advantage from buying this course instead of doing your courses here on YouTube? Sorry, didn't start them neither. This is actually a very good question. We partially covered it also on the website, also here on the website. Like, how is the course different from the free YouTube videos? And I explain simply that the difference is the scope of the features and things that we're gonna cover and that we're gonna learn. So if on YouTube we only cover the top of the iceberg, from mobile development, and we are covering the basic features. Then in our course we're going to be able to go much more deeper and implement a lot of features that we do not have a possibility to do them on YouTube. So yeah, you can check the full list of extra features here, like testing, custom authentication screens with social providers, advanced API usage like aggregation, pagination, filtering, searching, following system, liking system. These are all very complex systems that will require like very separate modules to cover. In-app and push notifications, analytics, real-time messaging, building and deploying everything to market, automating everything into CI/CD, and much more. So if you are at the beginning of a journey, then the free courses that we have on YouTube is probably the best way for you to learn and to get started. However, if you already followed some of the courses on YouTube and you feel that you are ready to take the next step and to kickstart your full stack mobile development career, this is a perfect opportunity for you to do so. So, because we're going to cover a lot of crucial and important topics in the course that we will not be able to do so on YouTube. Okay, do I get certificate of completion after the course? This is a very good question, and I will ask. I'll ask the people who bought the pre-sale campaign to let me know if a certificate of completion is important for them, because I think for me it's not that important. For me, I mean, like, as a student, even my university diploma is not important, because what you get out of a course or what you get out of university or of a bootcamp of anything is not certifications, is actual knowledge and practice on how to build stuff. And I think for me this is the most important part, and I can assure you that you will get the knowledge and you will get the hands-on practice with building, with taking an application from zero to deploying it to market. If certificate of completion are important, or you can let me know what are the important points of them, I might add it. We'll see. I didn't plan that. When is the first module going to be released? The first module, I didn't plan that. I'm still working on building the end application myself, just in order to be able to plan better like what topics goes what after an hour, in order to have like a better experience for you. So after that, I'm gonna start working on the first modules, and I hope that at the beginning of September we're gonna have the first modules in. Okay, we've got a lot of questions here. Sorry if I skip some of them, guys. Can you just confirm my registration? If you did you receive the confirmation email? If you didn't receive it, check also the promotions and the spam folder. Sometimes it goes there. So yeah, please check the confirmation email, and it's very important to add that email to the contact list, like to basically add it to the inbox, in order not to miss any updates when I'll send emails. Is the layout of courses going to be similar to Udemy in terms of navigating through the videos? I don't remember when was the last time taking a course on Udemy. But if you took any course from Kajabi, then the experience is going to be like Kajabi. yeah, you're gonna have like modules, and a module will have multiple videos, and you'll be able to navigate them. You'll be able to get like extra information, extra material underneath the video. I'm going to sign up regardless. Awesome. So guys, how many of you here in the comments have already joined it? And how many of you are still on the fence? Say yes if you joined the course. Let's go, let's see. I made myself a coffee and it's still full. Talk for 1.5 hours. I would love to buy your awesome course, Vadim, but could we suggest some features? Just like login by using phone number to Instagram. This is actually a great reason why you would want to join to buy during the pre-sale, because you will be able to give your opinions and give your feedback and suggestions on what other topics we should implement. So if, of course, we're gonna have some voting internally with everyone who is part of a batch 0, but if more people will want specifically logging by using phone number, which I think is also very important and most probably I should add it, then yeah, we'll definitely cover that topic. Yes, Alex? WhatsApp, let's check WhatsApp. Don't show it. Let's see what question Alex sent me. Oh, there are questions, good questions here. Eldar is asking, as far as I know, AWS is very expensive service. How expensive it will be to maintain a real small application using AWS? Yes, it really depends on how small we are talking about. If we are talking about a couple of hundred users, you will fall into the free tiers on most, if not all, of the services that you're gonna use. Let's say everything that I've built on YouTube, which are 16 applications, are still deployed on my AWS, and I'm not paying anything because AWS has a free tier for using the service up to 1 point. But for a lot of them, like this free tier is very, very generous. Like for, yeah, this is maybe a very good topic to cover as well, AWS pricing. I know that a lot of people are struggling with it, and for example, AWS Cognito. Cognito is the service that is taking care of our authentication. So Cognito has a free tier of 50,000 monthly active users. So if you have less than 50,000 monthly active users, then you are not going to pay anything. Then you pay 0046 or 0055 for each active user. So still, like, if you are running a small application, you are going to be in the free tier. And after that, like if you have more than 50,000 monthly active users, you are in a very, very good spot. So I will call you personally, I'll congratulate you, and I think at that point you will be able to pay this price for it. But yeah, so basically education and testing and stuff like that, they make sure to provide the free tier. If you're gonna use it for a lot of users, then you might start getting charged. I mean, you will, but you need to check like specifically with a pricing. Oh, here I see a lot of people saying yes, they joined. Yes, yes. That's really nice. Taking actions. Cool. Where can I give my feedback and suggestions? You can send them at Vadim at notjust.dev. Okay. Vadim at notjust.dev. A lot of questions, I'm already lost. Can I buy after the pre-sale for full price, or will I have to wait till December? Yes, after the pre-sale campaign is over, we're gonna close the doors, and I will need the peace of mind and time to focus only on working on the course, and also on going live once a week at least on YouTube. So for that reason, the doors will be closed until I finish everything and until I will be able to deploy it to the public. Very good question from Binay. Another thing I would like to mention even before enrolling would be, I think a person learns more when they get homework instead of just following along. Someone of you is calling me on Instagram, so I don't think I can answer it right now. Okay, back to the question. I think person learns more when they get homework instead of just following along. So have you planned something similar? I very much agree with the statement that you said, like you learn more by doing it yourself. So yeah, I haven't planned yet the homeworks, but I have it in mind. Like I really want to, like one idea that I have in mind, but I cannot promise it yet for you guys, is that you will do 2 projects at the same time. Basically, the Instagram clone where you learn, and everything that you learn, you're gonna implement it in your own project. So, but for that, like I need to make sure that I will be able to do that, if that's clear enough. Because just saying you to build a project is not very valuable to you. It would be valuable to you if you build a project and then there is someone checking it, giving you advice or helping you. This is when you get the most value. But for that, I cannot promise it yet. I need to think about it. So don't take my word here. Hello, hello, try to listen my voice. No, let's... how many students do you admit the first stream? I didn't set a hard limit to how many students. So yeah, you'll still have time these days. Okay. What else? Oh, that's a good question. Vadim, can you think about implementing a feature like an automated mail? For example, the mail you receive when you place an order successfully with images and such. Very good recommendation. I should definitely note it down. This is quite important to have these transactional emails when people do some actions. So yeah. We will discuss with the people from the batch 0 if this is important to them, and we will prioritize if, for example, something is more important than this. Try to make video like playlist, more traffic will come. To put videos in the playlist? Okay, thank you. If I buy course, can I watch them later, like after a year or something? Yes, you're gonna have access to it, like unlimited access after you buy it. Okay. Will JavaScript take over the world? Isn't it already? Think about it. How much of the internet is written in JavaScript? Do you plan to have special Discord for people who bought a course to avoid spamming current channel, or maybe another platform? Definitely, we're gonna have private communication channel with everyone from batch 0 and also from other batches as well. So I still didn't decide which to use, Slack or Discord for this. So probably I'm gonna run a poll with the batch 0 people to understand like which one is better. I think you understand like how much we will collaborate with the batch 0, like to make sure to structure everything correctly, to make sure to have a platforms that will be useful and helpful for as many people as possible. Maybe we'll do both Discord and Slack, we'll see, or even something else. Course is regularly updated since we have lifetime access. Yes, first of all, the course will come like periodically. I mean, each module will come in the next 3-4 months. And after that, I cannot speak for the future. We might continue working on it because I see just from one video how many new ideas I've got to implement. So if that's going to be the case, like, I don't know, maybe we will continue it for years, or we'll see. But if there will be updates in future, you will definitely get it because you're going to have unlimited access. Hello, Vadim. Greetings from Mexico. Hello. Could you please repeat about your premium courses? Which exact part? From the last 1.5 hours. The lessons will be recorded or live. The lessons will be recorded because this is also another difference between YouTube and the course. I'm gonna try to do them in the style that I'm doing on YouTube. Basically with a presentation, preparing everything, explaining step by step, and doing in a kind of live way, but of course recorded. And then I want to just do post-production to cut out the things that will waste your time. I know, for example, instead of waiting 5 minutes until my application builds, you're not gonna see that. So I'm gonna try to condense the information. So at the end, it's not gonna be like a 100-hour or 200-hour course, but it's gonna be like something like 30, 40, that's what I think. But if it's gonna happen, like always, I try to do a 2-hour live stream and then it's 4-hour. Then with 30, 40 planned hours of content, we'll see how many we will get. Do we need to update any things before the course start? Update any things in terms of what specifically? Hi, I'd like to learn Android development. Which is better according to you, React Native or Kotlin? If you asked according to me, then definitely React Native. Easy question, easy answer. I wrote in Kotlin, I wrote in with Java in Android Studio, and it's a nightmare. At least for me, it was a nightmare. I didn't enjoy the process. I didn't enjoy the development experience. I didn't enjoy that a lot of things, a lot of the simple things takes you 5 lines of code and 3 methods to implement. For example, displaying an image. something like loading, then parsing, then transforming, then again loading. It was crazy. Like in React Native, everything is much easier. Maybe because I had a bit of experience with web development. So React Native is much closer to web development than Android native development is. That's why. Hello, bro. Try to provide free video to all people around the world. Of course, that's what we are doing on YouTube. That's what we are going to continue to do. This is going to be my... I'm going to still focus on YouTube. I'm not going anywhere. So a lot of things will happen here on YouTube. But if you want to go to the next level and take the next step, that's what the course is for. Okay. Will you take care of frequent update of a course as per latest React Native version? Until we finish developing the course, we will definitely keep track of all the React Native version updates. But I cannot promise that after 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 years, I'm gonna still provide updates there. So I think you can understand that. In React Native, is it possible to develop AI applications? It depends what specifically are you referring to with AI applications. So usually AI and all the AI stuff happens in the backend. So when in this course that we're gonna learn React Native with AWS Amplify. AWS Amplify is our backend. And now the question is it possible to do AI in AWS Amplify? The answer is yes, it's possible. There are some services out of the box in Amplify, which blows my mind, for recommendation systems. Recommendation systems are the system that will suggest you the next video to watch on YouTube, or it will suggest you the next TikTok to display to you. So these are things that companies invest like millions of dollars. A couple of years ago, Netflix had a contest where they will give you $1 million if you develop a recommendation system that beats the recommendation system of Netflix itself. So this is a very hot thing in development. So basically with AWS Amplify, you can do that in a couple of hours to implement everything. Okay. Also, will I be able to land in a job? I don't know basic of React Native. Where can I start to learn? So the course, as I already said, like it's gonna be beginner friendly. And if you have some experience with JavaScript, then you will be able to get started with a course from the first project, because it's gonna cover the fundamentals of React Native. So we're gonna start from zero. Okay. It isn't working and Vadim is not replying. What is not working? Maybe I skipped some questions, guys. Clinton is saying, hi Vadim, I got a job thanks to your videos. It's been 3 months now. Oh my god, that's so awesome. Like, I cannot be more happy when I see the success stories of people that are following the channel. So congratulations, that's really awesome. Okay, how your course will be different from your free video playlist? Very good question. We already have covered the answer, and also on the website you can see the same question. How is the course different from the free YouTube videos? And the short answer is the scope of everything. So while on YouTube, in a 10-hour live stream, like in combined project, I cannot cover that many features. Then in a course I will be able to do that. So the plan is to cover 10x the amount of features, tools, systems that we are learning on YouTube in my videos. And yeah, here is a short list of the extra features that you're gonna find in the course. Something like testing, which is very important. Custom authentication screens with social providers, Facebook, Google, Apple. Advanced API use cases. This is huge, like where the aggregation, pagination, filtering, searching, following, liking system, and many more. In-app push notification, a very big one here as well, that it takes a little bit of time, and especially explaining like how everything is connected, how everything works with to implement a push notification system. Analytics, real-time messaging, building, deploying everything to the app market, and implementing the CI/CD, which will automatically do the building and deploying for you. This is only some of the features that are extra. All right, guys, so let's continue our discussion in the Discord, and there I will be able to stop and answer all of the questions that you have. So I need to get the Discord from somewhere. But you can find the link to the Discord in the description. You can also find the link to the course in the description. So I will paste in here as well. How is it called? 1 second. I am sweating in this sweater. I don't know why I took it. So here is the link. The pre-sale, I remind you, it's going to be available. The pre-sale is going to be available for the next 7 days, and then doors closed until the course is ready to be published to the public. So if you want to be the first ones to join the course and to have access to the course in order to become a full stack mobile developer, then you need to take actions now and become part of a batch 0, which are the first students in the course. And by doing that, you will be able to influence how the course is gonna be developed till the end. You're gonna vote on what is the next topic we should teach in the course, and so on. So during the next 3 or 4 months, we're gonna have like almost one-on-one sessions to learn and to develop everything that we have set in plans. So guys, yes. Take the opportunity of a 50% discount, because this is going to be the biggest discount. That's for sure. Like when the course is going to be deployed to the public, it's going to cost $195. So now is the chance to take it with just $95. All right, so thank you very much for joining this live stream. Thank you very much for everyone who joined the course, and to everyone else who will join in the next days. I will see you there, and I will let you know all the next details and how we're gonna structure and how we're gonna meet in the near future. So guys, thank you very much. Take care, stay hydrated. Right-click code, here is our outro, beautiful outro. You can check some videos where I always confuse here, videos.